Chaver Bezrat Hashem, the Kavod Shabbos Kodesh, L'chu Neranana today. Let's tap into Shabbos right now. Let's tap into right now. Yeah, let's go weiter. So, Atfila B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Atfila B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Chaver, this is a massive day. Massive day. Tapping into Shabbos. 110 days until Hanukkah. It's 26 until Rosh Hashanah. The time is right now. So, Atfila B'Shem Kol Yisrael. Pesach Re'uvim B'Nun Sefasar Bracha Bas Yehudis. Miriam Dodi Bas Chanin Chavedi Ona Bas Bas Ashir Bas Bas Sinai Re'uvim Ben Mani every Neshama on Klal Yisrael. And we also have Daniel Mordechai Ben Gittel Toiva Rivka. May you have a quick refuah, quick recovery. Chavra, study of halacha. Okay. Let the pathways of the intellect be truly open to us and bring us to attain wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Help us devote ourselves to your Torah in the proper way and give us the ability to clarify Torah law so that we, in each case, will come to the right decision. Help us study the law codes. Inspire us with the necessary wisdom, understanding, and knowledge so as to be able to clarify the final decision and distinguish between what is permitted and what is forbidden, and what is pure, what is impure, what is valid, and what is invalid. This will give us the power to fix and make amends for the damage we have caused in all the worlds through many of our many sins and transgressions, which cause good and evil to become mixed up. Help us come to genuine prayer so that the light of true wisdom will be open up for us and we'll be able to clarify the halacha and come to the right decisions. Bezrat Hashem. Chavra, we have 26 days until Rosh Hashanah. We have two more halachos in this Siman Yud Bet for preparations for prayer. So I think after Bli Neder, after we accomplish, not finish, we never finish, only accomplish. Once we accomplish this chapter, the section, we'll move on to halachos pertaining to Rosh Hashanah. All right. So this is a massive halacha we got here. Some say that if a congregation prayed in the synagogue, and afterward another congregation came to pray there, the chazan of the second group should not stand in the same place that the chazan of the first group stood, as this constitutes a degradation of the first group. It says here in the footnote that it would appear as if the first group had not properly fulfilled the obligation of prayer. Right? This is why we shouldn't be davening in the same place. Now the question is, what is a congregation here? Is it a different shul, or is it the next minute? Like you have the 8 o'clock and then you have like the 8:30. I don't know. Unless the first group has already left the synagogue. Likewise, if the first group had taken out a Sefer Torah, a Torah scroll, and read from it, the second group should not take out a Sefer Torah a second time to read from it in the same synagogue. However, in many communities, they are not particular about these things, and everything should follow the particular custom of that community. So we have to do more investigation on this. So I guess it could be, it couldn't mean the 8:30 group, right? Let's say the 8 o'clock minyan prays and they're done at 8:25. 8:25, and the chaver leave. The next minyan comes in. So I don't know. There's a lot of questions here, but what we can say is just a nice lesson with this halacha. We read a beautiful story once upon a time of this Hasidic rabbi, I forget who exactly, but Friday night he was having dinner with a bunch of the guests in the community, random people from different towns in this Hasidim. And it was time to make Kiddush Friday night, and he took out his bencher, and he was reading the Kiddush, the words from the bencher. And this Hasidim, who know the godless of this rabbi, who know the pedigree, the whole thing, they're thinking to themselves, why is the rabbi doing this? Does he not know the words by heart? What's going on? So it was either the Eishes Chayil right? The Rebbetzin picked up on this, or the Talmidim asked the Rebbe afterwards. He's like, Rebbe, what was the whole deal with that? And he said that I like using my sitter for everything, so I wouldn't be embarrassing any of the guys at the table who don't know the Kiddush by heart or don't know the prayers or anything by heart. It's a great yisod. It's a great yisod. This is what we're talking about right here. We have to be 2 steps ahead here. We have to, like, with the Torah reading, with praying after another congregation while they're still there. These are all things for us to take in our lives, and just know that we have to try to be 2 steps ahead, and not cause embarrassment. Okay. So part 2 of Sicha 81. We're talking about the dangers of cynicism, and so now we're going to get into the more, in part 2, we're going to be talking more about sarcasm and how that has a huge effect on us. We're going to admit the Rebbe right now. It's great to have the Rebbe. Donald, it's just great to see your icon. It's great to see your name. And I could just cry. Okay, so we're in Sicha 81. We have the Rebbe on. The danger of cynicism. So part 2. There's also a certain sarcasm, even among those who seem religious. This is as harmful as philosophy, says Rabbeinu. We know Rabbeinu, or we don't really know to the extent of what Rabbeinu means, but his takes on philosophy and the study of philosophy. And this sarcasm is literally the same as philosophical skepticism, right? So we have to know the magnitude of sarcasm, right? And I think Rabbeinu may have mentioned this, probably did, or we read it somewhere else, but even joking about something, anything that's religious related, is deep inside, there's some truth to it. So we also have to be aware of what's coming out of our mouth. We may feel like we're saying a joke, but in truth, that could just be ourselves and how we feel, right? It can be even worse, since most Jews recognize the dangers of philosophy and avoid it. They know that philosophy can drag them down in the deepest pit. But people are not so careful to avoid sarcasm and sophistication, especially when it emanates from those who appear to be religious and clothe all their opinions in religious expressions to prove their veracity. We have to read this again. But people are not so careful to avoid sarcasm and sophistication, especially when it emanates from those who appear to be religious and clothe all their opinions in religious expressions to prove their veracity. This is mamish massive. So what happens? What happens when these people are clothing themselves in what may seem like something truthful, but really it's coming from a sarcastic place and coming from a place of sophistication, unhealthy sophistication? People do not avoid them. Why wouldn't they? Right? It sounds like they're speaking facts or speaking truth, thinking that they're on the right path, right? So it is very scary. These are just questions that we need to be asking ourselves. Who are we surrounded by? We spoke about in an earlier Sicha, a couple Sichas ago, about avoiding bad company. Maybe that was Sicha 80. So who are we surrounded by? Or the people that we think are good, what's really going on beneath the surface? Yet these very people are the ones who cause the most harm, frustrating, confusing those who truly want to serve Hashem. This is unbelievable. This is mamash unbelievable. We know that people are much stronger than the Sahara. People have the ability to lead people to sin. Lo aleinu, chas v'sham. So fortunate is the man who walks the true path, avoiding all sophistication. He is simple and upright, fearing Hashem and shunning evil. So we just know Rav Ari Rosenfeld reiterates this and adds, a couple more words and more explanation. That Rabbeinu is basically telling us that people might have this basic inclination of belief, of fear, of respect for the Torah. But people may think they're safe from these people and from these groups. But if he comes in contact with these mockers of religion, they can destroy everything that he has ever gained. It's a very, very strong statement from Ari Rosenfeld. So therefore, Rabbeinu says, be sure to avoid any contact with these people of evil. It's mamish huge, and we all know in a letter from Reb Nosson to his son, in letter 269. I'm sorry if we're going overboard, where he talks about truth, right? And this is Reb Nosson writing to his son. Amazing stuff. So he talks about, may we draw upon ourselves holy understanding so that we may know at every moment, at all times, that the Lord is God. May we banish the spirit of foolishness from our midst by drawing his godliness upon us in all circumstances and at all times. The whole world is filled with his glory, and he rules everywhere. If I have done nothing other than to make known to you that a person must never despair, no matter what this would be enough to not despair. We speak about it all the time. Know that this is the real truth for every person every time. If everyone in the world knew this and generally believed it, the world would already have reached a state of complete rectification. So we always need to be seeking and searching for the truth. And even if we feel like we're in bad company and with bad people, or people who may not be leading us to the right path and to the next level in our lives, do not despair at all. Do not despair at all. Seek God. Rabbeinu says in Likutei Haran, God is the ultimate truth. So the more we are attuned to God, the more we're sensitive to God, the greater our perception of the truth. And the stronger our commitment to honesty and truth about ourselves as well as the world around us, the greater is our ability to perceive God. So B'ezrat Hashem, Chevra, the more we tap into the truth, the more we seek the truth, surround ourselves with great people, acquire a friend like we spoke about yesterday. Living in purity, living in truthfulness is a huge milah. So that should be for all of us. Questions, comments, please feel free. So B'ezrat Hashem, Chaver, we should all be healthy, happy, and successful. Continue tomorrow, the Kavod Shabbos Kodesh, Komakadesh V, and we got the two rabbis on. Unbelievable. Why you? In the BMP or the extra hour of learning? Oi, Donala, are we chilling tomorrow? You got a car? I'm being real. I'm being straight up. Or am I making this trip to you? All right, I'll call you. Kavod Shabbos.